Alright, so I'm going to try this voiceover thing and see if I can make this video sound really cool. I use all the scraps from my previous projects. I got barrels and trash cans full of triangles because I cut triangles in all my work. So I keep them. And I cut like 25 of this triangle size, and then 25 of that triangle size, and 25 of this right angle, and 25 of those. And when I get a stack of, 8 or 9 different shapes, I just kind of play with them on a board. Run them through the belt sander once I get all the pattern where I need it. Make sure all the edges are nice and smooth, because applying tabletop epoxy to cedar really requires a good smooth surface, and they need to be sealed on all the edges prior to putting the pattern down, or you're going to catch these weird foam bubbles that come out of the sides along the edges, and it's really hard to deal with all that when you're trying to pour deep epoxy and get rid of what look like columns of foaming bubbles in your epoxy. Your heat gun can do all of its work, but really when there's a continuous stream of foam coming out of the side of a pattern piece, it really makes it challenging. And then once they're all completely tabletoped, you suspend them on top of these little blocks covered in Tyvek, so that way they can dry all the way around. And then you have a fun time sanding every tiny little piece so the epoxy will adhere. In this part, I draw a graph on the plywood and then apply tabletop epoxy to the plywood and glue it down. Once it's dry, I like jet black liquid pigment, and then bring it on down to the guy who has the planer. What do you think, Charlie? Right? I think it looks fantastic. Still got to be cleaned up, but I just got it back from the planer service, and there's some brad nails that show. I nail these in, but it gives it a cool effect, and there's nothing I can do about it. So, it looks so good. And using a router is new for me. I've built a lot of things, mostly decks and docks, a lot of picnic tables, custom picnic tables, but using a router is still new. So it's a little freaking me out sometimes, because running it along, an almost completed piece, and it always kind of feels like it could dig into my project. But then seeing the outcome when this thing gets, a beautiful edge along it is really rewarding. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, all over here. It's all over here. It's all over here. It's all over the hair. It's all over. It sticks to everything. Ew, it went up my nose.